Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. Here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough. I'd like you guys to meet this. Here is Malakai Brown, athlete out of Shepherd. Nice to have you today here, sir.
Hey, good. Thanks to be had.
Hey, man, nice to get an opportunity to meet you. I say athlete because most people are knowing you as a running back when we're going back and we're looking at the film, but you're making the switch back to wide receiver this
Yes,
season.
sir.
So, very exciting. So, we'll see how all that comes together. I still think they got a couple packages for you as a runner. So, we'll see what happens this year. Malachi, go ahead and introduce yourself so we can get going.
I'm Malakai Brown. I'm originally from Martinsburg, West Virginia. I went to high school up until my junior year at Hedgesville High School, and then I moved to Martinsburg my senior year. Graduated from there. As soon as I left Martinsburg, I went straight to Shepherd. I have been there. I have been at Shepherd since 2020. It's my great home. I love it. The deer. Uh, there's simple stuff. I like to golf, hang out with friends, family. Big griller guy, like to cook, um, like to work out. It's about all I do. Train football for the past 17 or so years. That's what I've been doing.
Cool. So you said it's about 17 years. So probably since you're what, about like 4 or 5 years old, you've been playing this game.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir.
so as you had mentioned, you said Headsville, you were at, or what was you
Hedges,
say?
Hedgesville.
Hedgesville.
Yeah, like
Hedgesville.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, Hedgesville, and then from there to Martinsburg High School.
Yes, sir.
I have in my notes, you also did a little bit of lacrosse and basketball back in your day as well. So is that
Yeah,
you?
I played quite a few sports. I played baseball. I played obviously lacrosse. I played basketball in high school when I went to Hedgesville, and I played at middle school. Um, I wrestled for 8 years.
Interesting.
Yeah, my dad was a coach, so I wrestled for him for a while. What else? I think that's about it. I'm huge into golf. I've already mentioned that. Um, but yeah, that's about all the sports I've played.
Which is about everything. So
Yeah, yeah, it's
obviously,
everywhere.
when we're looking at that, it shows that you just like to compete,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
in the world you're doing.
yes,
So you're competing in wrestling, baseball, basketball, lacrosse, anything probably that you could possibly do. But of course, you've been at it with this game of football, doing things, strongly in that sport, focusing on that sport for a while. So I gotta ask, what is it about football that you love so much?
sir. So football, I just feel like it was that thing where it was my first love. I feel like as I was in that youth league, the first position I ever played was nose guard. I played nose guard, and then I played defensive end,
All
and
right,
then skinny. I was a skinny kid, just
of
was pretty
course.
rowdy off the edge, I guess. And then I had taken my first snap as a running back, like that following year in EPYFL. And I think since then, since I scored my first touchdown, I think I've just adored football since then.
Cool. So, again, coming out of the Martinsburg, West Virginia area, so I'm trying to figure out how did the recruiting go? I mean, because of course, Shepherd being more or less, in your backyard, was it always going to be Shepherd? Talk to me about how you ended up landing there.
Yeah, so recruiting, I will say when I was at Hedgesville, I would say at Hedgesville I was like more of like a a spotlighted out player just because there wasn't as many athletes on the field. Like when I went to Martinsburg, you got guys like Gerard Bowie, Teddy Marshall, who doesn't play anymore, but he was a great player when he played. Elijah Banks, who plays at Gannon now. Ty Lucas, all them guys. When you surround yourself by all them guys, you got to be able to access plays to everybody. So at Hedgesville, I was getting. I had visits to places like Kentucky, Cincinnati. Um, I had a couple letters from like UND. I never went out there. I went to a bunch of West Virginia games when I was growing up in high school. So I was definitely getting recruited uh, out of a lot of the, I would say, East Coast D1s, but when it came to pulling the trigger, not that many pulled. Um, I think I got a BMI offer it was honestly it was up in the air between VMI and Shepherd when I came down to my decision. Honestly, like I grew up watching Shepherd football. Obviously, Tyson Bajan went there. Huge person in my life. Just going to the games all the time, watching, because I've always known that they've been a good team. So like and that's all I really truly wanted to do, and it was to win. And then situationally, family at that time, my sister was about to have her first kid, so like for me, I wanted to stay close, to be able to for him to come watch games and stuff like that. So honestly, just with all the culture built since I was younger till now is initially why I went and chose Shepherd.
Gotcha. I mean, again, close to home, so
Yeah, yeah,
feels again like home. You're not going too far. I mean, very familiar with the area, the university. Talk about what it is like being a student there at Shepherd. Talk about what maybe you're doing as a student. Just kind of student life overall.
So student life this year for me will be all online. Just because I'm in my grad year, so I will be doing all my certificate classes online. But I would say in-person classes, campus is small. You can get to a lot. You can get to everything, whether in a walking distance. A lot of people drive, but it's kind of a mess to park out there because very few parking spaces for a lot of students. So I would say, yeah. I would say, it's pretty. The campus is very bright. A lot of white column buildings. Students everywhere, all diversity, all ethnicities. Um, I would say it's a good vibe. It's a good small town vibe at Shepherd.
Cool. So good small town vibe. Again, right now working on your graduate degree, you said, right?
Yes. Yeah, I this past May got my degree in business with a concentration in entrepreneurship and a minor in nutrition. And then I'll be working on my. I'm not doing the actual master's. I'm gonna just get my certificate in this during this fall. So that's what I'm gonna work towards, and that will also be in the business realm as well.
Cool. Well, as you had mentioned, Shepherd has been very good in general. For a while, really.
Yeah,
You talked a little bit about Tyson, who just got paid for people
got
who are
paid.
paying attention. So
Yeah,
he's obviously doing great things. And
yes,
so, of course, when we look back and we think about the offense, a very storied offense there at Shepherd. So a little bit different, but a little bit the same still.
yeah, yeah,
We got Tyson's younger brother amongst the mix there too. So
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. He's in the QB room.
talk about the offense and how it's going to look this year.
So offense is I think this year for offense, it's going to be a super big rebuild year. We got a bunch of guys coming off. We got Ty Lucas, Brandon Carr coming off of injuries. Josh coming is a freshman last year. He's going to be turning into a sophomore this year, going into the sophomore season. He was a starter last year. He had got hurt right after our SCU game last year, our first game of the season. So we lost a lot of our frontier guys on our first line of defense. We had a bunch of guys transferred out of the room, all both offense and defense last year. So filling in the roles, bringing transfer guys in. I think it's just making sure our chemistry's right before we get into this week one. I think in general, I think people are in the right places where they need to be. So far, so right in camp. I just feel like Coach Ambrose does a good job of saying that just get better every day. You can't harp on the yesterday. You got to just play the next play. And I think honestly, that culture and all that is being rebuilt this year.
Yeah, I mean, being rebuilt. I mean, somewhat mainly because I mean, last year really not a great outing. That's not what we're used to seeing there at Shepherd in a 6-5 record. But again, you guys have seen great success in years past with a lot of, let's just say, PSAC stars really coming out of that program. So Tyson, remember Joey Fisher, really big name coming out of there as well. And for people who forget, also an All-American running back, Ronnie Brown.
Yeah, Ronnie Brown, freaking nature, man.
Absolutely. For some of these people who really started the trend, maybe when in your earlier years there at Shepherd, who was maybe your most influential teammate as you were growing into the?
Um, so there, I would say there was two. I would say definitely Tyson Bagent, just because one, I was obviously a receiver growing up throughout the whole thing. So the guy I'm asking question obviously is QB1. He's within my closest friend group, so we're very communicative throughout football and life in general. And then I would also say, so 2021 we had a transfer from Shippensburg University, Josh Gonterick. And Josh Gonterick, I would say, would be the next guy that I looked up to and played an idol role with, just because one, our games were very similar, um, and height, weight, all those type of things. Very a lot of stuff in common as well.
Well, Malachi, these past two seasons, you've been playing running back.
Yes,
Been all conference for the PSAC. Team leading rusher. But now we're going to be looking at you as a receiver moving forward. When I did go back and I looked at you as a running back, I will be frank. It was great that you were utilized often as a receiver
yeah,
as a running back. And so obviously we're looking at a guy with great versatility, even going back to maybe having you as a returner. I know you have returned one to the house before.
yes, sir.
A lot of things that you bring to the table. Talk about what you feel are some of your best attributes as you make that shift back to wide receiver.
I think obviously so through learning running back play, little stuff like reading blocks, reading shades, defensive fronts, like understanding the box before you get out to the coverages. I think that alone has progressed me throughout my football IQ definitely. I've played receiver really all my life. So I've still like even through running back while I was playing running back, I trained being a receiver as well because we'd have concept stuff to where they're putting me draw out and spread out. So it's like honestly the transition wasn't as bad or nor as hard as it could be for somebody else. But also, once again, I've been in this program for 5 years, so the offense, all the whole nine, like it's pretty second nature to me.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, typically with a lot of passing games, they implement a whole lot of screen.
Yes,
And
sir.
so you have a guy like you who I could utilize in the screen game. In a weird sense, it is sort of kind of like the run game. I mean,
Yeah,
all you're doing is you're giving a guy the ball, allowing him to move in space. All you got to do is try and make the first guy miss, and it's still kind of like a running play. So
right.
that's sort of how it goes. So, and again, like you said, I mean, you got to have the vision to, be patient, see your blocks, and then, hit the holes and hopefully make it downfield. So,
Yes, sir.
um, I do want to really talk about this past season for you.
Yeah.
And so I understand that it's going to be from the perspective of you as a running back,
Yeah.
but still some good games. And
Yeah.
the interesting thing is the two games that I wanted to pick out are actually the first game of the season and the last game.
Look at
And
that.
so it's very good dynamic, of course,
Okay. Yeah.
looking at the differences because the very first game, dude, you're running the ball to death. I think it's like what 163 yards on the
Yeah.
ground.
Every day
Uh,
back that game. Yes, sir.
so let's talk through that game before we get to the last one.
Yeah. So came out away opener versus Southern Connecticut University. You know, once again we had all of our guys at the front. We were all healthy. We're coming into the game one. Everybody was excited to play new offense. After obviously Tyson Baja has left, so that or well Seth Morgan in this case,
Right.
which which he had left. So another experienced guy in that role as a QB. So it was the first year of I would like to say having a young team, having a reestablished team. We came out guns a blazing. We was hitting our inside zones, and everything was good. Everything was doing what it was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you guys did a very great job, blanking your opponent. in week one, of course. Obviously, talking to you right now, this is still preseason. I mean, your guys are going to have your opener here very soon against Frostburg State.
Yeah, that's
Um,
Saturday.
so that'll be very interesting. Although I don't know if you're going to run for 163. Maybe you're going to get it through the air
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah,
So it's definitely going to look a little different in week one for you.
definitely.
But we'll see. I mean, obviously, a whole lot of hopes for week one. Want to shift actually to the last game of the season, and again,
Yes,
it's
sir.
just kind of a dichotomy of sorts. Seeing the difference because you were utilized a whole lot more as a receiver. Again, you guys were playing against Seton Hill, and
Yes, sir.
so uh, talk to me about that. Like, do you have any memory from that game that's going to hopefully help the momentum of this year?
I think the sparks started to ignite as soon as coach once again saw the ball in the air, and me being able to go attack it, be a receiver, because we had concepts that we built for that game just to get it all out because it was the last game of the season, so we might as well use all of our tricks and get this win however we need to do it. um yeah, I mean, two QBs were playing in that game. Ended up first was Lek, and then Ezra Bajan actually came out and played a couple drives in the end of that game. That was another back and forth game, hard fought win. You know, not much other. I know I had like three catches in the air that game, and they were all long balls. We were running the ball, obviously. Towards the end of the season, I wasn't getting as many carries, more catches, like more split up with catches too. So yeah,
That particular game, it's kind of even for you
yeah,
rushing and receiving yards, 86 to 82.
yeah.
And so we are shifting into this season with you as a receiver and trying to rebound from last year. How are you guys going to rebound, man? What's it going to take for you to come back as a veteran leader and hopefully help lead this offense to some more victories?
Yeah, I mean, we've made some changes this year. We've brought in Rob Ambrose from recent head coach from Towson University. So we've brought him. He's played a huge, significant role, in my opinion, throughout this camp so far. And I think going on in the season that he's very crucial on refining. He's very like because and that's really how you culture build is repetition. And, making sure you're holding everybody accountable at all times, whether it's a young kid or an older guy, it doesn't really matter, making sure everybody's doing their job at all times. He very much influences that. You can tell how much it's shifting the team in terms of an offensive mindset. You can tell, it's getting back to that culture of, we're just gonna go out and play and do the stuff that works for us, and we know it's gonna work, and we're just gonna go out and execute it, and we're gonna get it done. Um, I think once again, we got six guys in the QB room. Guys have been working hard. Still not undecided yet into week one. Um, maybe a little plot twist there, but honestly, guys all around. We got a couple of transfers. Jaden Ashby, he's going to be playing a huge role as a receiver this year. JB's come back. Grant Hart, Swanhart's came back. Ty Lucas is back. Brandon Carr is back. All the guys that we needed back to be in important roles are back, and we filled in where we have lacked. But I think the whole dynamic, the whole culture shift, once again, is just getting back to that shepherd way of things. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you had mentioned some solid guys there on the offensive line, which of course it starts there if we're being honest. I mean, they're
Yeah,
really putting things down in hopes for whoever it is who's going to be under center to have as much time to deliver. So, and hopefully he's delivering that ball to you as often as possible this year, so you guys can score with it and win some games. So, um, cool. Malachi, it's been great to get to talk about last season and then obviously the hopes for this season for you guys. But want to step aside and see if there's anything we need to learn about you as a dude, as the guy under the helmet. So talk a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind. Any interesting fun facts, hobbies, special talents, or dude, anything about yourself that you want people to know. Lay it on me.
Um, So, I mean, I'm pretty much an open book. I've been active, really my whole life, and that's really, I think, where my life was still going to go after, eventually football's over or whatever that whenever that day comes. I enjoy, like I said 3 times, I think I really enjoy golfing. I think golfing is my second love after football. I think golfing will be my love of a sport. I truly enjoy it. I love cooking steaks on the grill. Do it all the time for teammates and me. I love spending time with family. Super important to me. I read books here and there. I'm on 48 Laws of Power right now. Um, I game here and there when I have time. Starting to less and less as I'm getting older. Um, I last year I built a business named Gritful, and eventually, once obviously my football career is over and done with, I want to super heavy get into that. But eventually, just train football, impact youth, um, you know, do whatever I can to be a community guy.
Cool. Not too far from me, so I mean, hopefully, maybe I could, swing by whenever you're cooking on that grill.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, whenever, man, you can come over. Yeah,
that sounds great. Do have some other fun questions to, just kind of play along with. So, just humor me as I ask you some silly questions. So, favorite go-to snack?
go to snack, sweet potatoes lately. Just put
Okay.
some, just put them in the, dice them, put them in the air fryer, put some paprika on them, salt, pepper, put some butter on them when they're done. It's a great snack.
Gotcha. Favorite TV show or movie?
TV show, I'm an anime guy, and Solo Leveling is probably my favorite TV show. And then movie, I would say it's probably like The Wedding Crasher or maybe
Okay.
Interstellar.
All right. Some interesting choices there. So,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Um, what does a perfect sandwich look like for you? Like, what are you putting on it? Like, what? Talk to me. Maybe if there's a local place there that we can hype up.
Okay. So there is a local place named. There's a couple good places in Shepherdstown. You got a lot of good eats in Shepherdstown. Like you got MJ's, which is obviously the literal sandwich shop. You got places like Blue Moon that also sell sandwiches and burgers. But if I had to go with my go-to sandwich, I'd probably do ciabatta bread, pesto, like a turkey pesto on a ciabatta, and with a little bit of mozzarella in there. I think
Sounds
that's the
good.
go-to.
Hey,
Yeah.
just giving me ideas for this weekend. So, I mean, we'll see if I make my way up there. Cool. Let me see. Are you a superstitious guy? You have any pregame rituals or anything before you have to get out there? Leave the locker room and hopefully, you know, get things done.
Uh, I've actually had very close teammates that have been super superstitious. I'm not really one of them. I think I make sure I listen to one artist before a game. And I think that's about it. The artist's name is Lil Fo, but which is Ludfoe. But other than that, there's not really any ritual. I just know that I'm about to have to go play a game. That's about it.
I get you. It's sometimes people put their socks on the same or
Yeah.
something weird,
Yeah.
but hey,
I shower. Oh, matter of fact, you know what? I shower. I shower before every game.
there you go. Hopefully you're showering after too. So
Yeah, for sure.
cool. Um, who are you a big fan of at the next level? I mean, of course, playing multiple positions, right? And so, I mean, I don't know who you are a big fan of, whose game you love watching, whether it be running back, wide receiver, or what have you. But who are you a big fan of at the next level?
Yeah, if I were to say running back, I would either say like a Jameer Gibbs or like a B. John Robertson type of guy. But if I was to say in the air, um, since I grew up and since he was big, I'd probably say OBJ. or guys that are super versatile like a Malakai Brown, guys that just do it all, block, catch the ball,
Gotcha. Well, hopefully here soon, gonna, play with those guys, be in those locker rooms. But
That's fair.
before we get there, we got a full season of Shepherd ball to play. So, I mean, uh, what are we gonna get this season, man? Close us out with your final thoughts. Anything that you got to say to the doubters, to the scouts that might be coming out to y'all's games. And close us with your final thoughts about, what you're going to be able to bring to the table.
Um, you know, I mentioned earlier, just I think this season, I think at least for me personally, I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt as much as I can. Take it day by day because it is my last year of collegiate ball. So I'd like to savor it. Obviously to the coaches, to the maybe future coaches that I play under. I just undoubtedly say that since I've been at Shepherd, I've just learned that you know, less resources, all this stuff, all these contingencies that we have as a program, we're able to do extramental stuff, and I think that is because the culture that has been built and based upon into me, the commitment kind of thing, the loyalty kind of thing, just being undoubtedly grateful at all times, being able to adjust, be able to be versatile in different positions. Whether like I'm a big special teams guy, too. Even before I was on the field playing offense and defense, so I'm just one of those guys that wherever you need me, I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna play the hardest way I can. And that's just how I work. If I do something, I want to be the best at it. I think everybody should have that mentality.
Great. Certainly a guy who's been through the fire,
Yes, sir.
fought through adversity, has done anything and everything for his program in order to help them win some games. Obviously, these past couple seasons been all conference at running back, and hopefully this season going to do that here at wide receiver.
Yeah, I
So,
love that. Yeah, that's the
uh,
plan.
Malachi, we just want to wish you guys all the best, for you and the Rams this season.
Well, I appreciate it, boss man. I appreciate you, Jimmy. Thanks for having me, man.
Here, once again, Malachi Brown, athlete, wide receiver, running back, return specialist, living everything there at Shepherd University. Got to come check him out this season.